welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 478. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only. I don't like how everyone just bobbed their heads there, all right? We don't do that. Every single one of you bobbed your head to MC Fixer. I don't like that. Alongside the one and only, it's the blind man himself, Too Fresh Crash.
Oh, you were talking to me? My bad.
Obviously.
I can't hear you.
I'm glad I can't hear. How are you, Crash? How are things?
I'm doing okay. I've been adjusting to the blindness slowly, little by little.
Are we going to get new glasses soon, Crash?
Yeah, I have eye doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then I have to figure out what I'm doing for frames and lenses and stuff like that. But after the eye doctor's appointment, it'll get all sorted.
Do you need us to start a GoFundMe? Because we will.
I don't need to go for me for glasses. No.
Okay, fine. Just checking. We got the man on the ones and twos, Mr. Paul Despawn.
Hello.
Good talk. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Are we starting off this good, yeah? We're starting off like this. This is what we're doing.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I said hello.
And Matt's here.
What's up, everybody? Crash, do we have super hearing and super scent yet? Is that coming? Are we Daredevil yet? Is this happening?
No, unfortunately
How long
not.
does that take? Because I would push back the doctor's appointment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think I'd have to get a bit more blind than I am right now for those to start kicking in, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Just poke yourself in the eye.
Matt, is that alcoholic-free beer?
It is indeed alcohol-free beer.
Okay.
I don't rate it, Crash. Crash, I have to. Can we have a conversation real quick, just me and you?
Yeah.
No, Despawn, you're not involved. Sorry. Matt's such a bitch, bro. Who drinks alcoholic-free
You know
beer?
what?
That's a crazy thing to do. Am I right?
Yeah, like why? You know,
Why?
at that point, just don't drink the
Just don't drink the beer. Exactly. Should bring the others back? Oh, boys, come back.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
So have you heard that?
Matt's a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, if you check the show notes, you'll see my opinions of Matt.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We can't keep doing this. This is bad podcasting. They're putting secret messages in the show notes that the audience can't see.
But we're calling him out. It's fine.
Secret messages this week is... No, I can't.
You can't say that one. You can't say that one.
Cut the show. It's over, guys.
Literally can't
It's
say
over.
that. You're such an idiot. I almost said it.
But I can say what I said about, Matt and Crash.
Yeah, so... No, I can't... Yeah, we can't say your one either.
Nope.
It says
Secret.
Krashnik can't see, and this is the first time I'm realizing Krashnik is in the show notes as Krashnik and not just Crash, which is
I never
odd to
put
me.
that. That's
No,
not
I
me.
didn't
It has to be Despawn.
No,
Despawn.
It has to be. I don't even know how to spell Krashnik.
Nope.
There's no way. I didn't put that. That's not me.
I just added the can't see.
Krashnik can't see, and Matt is a bitch, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Man, how do you feel about being called a bitch so much? Like,
I feel like
honest.
I think it started with you calling me a bitch, like really out of the blue, and now it's just the thing that we throw around quite
kind
frequently.
of a term of endearment, isn't it? In a weird
Although
way.
probably not on the podcast as much, more just before we start recording, we're throwing out that quite a lot. So the audience might not be aware that it is very much a term of endearment within the My Xbox and Me team.
Yeah,
At least I hope it is. Because
Just remember, Matt, you're our
course.
bitch, and that's what matters.
if somebody else, we've told you that we've said this to the community already. Oh, and you dare go around calling Matt a bitch.
You don't call our bitch a bitch. We only
I don't
call our
want to see it on
bitch a
Twitter.
bitch.
I don't want to see it in the Discord. I don't want to see it anywhere.
Getting so much
we call Matt a bitch.
Yeah, he holds
You
my
don't
pocket.
get to call exactly. Yo. Calm down there. Jesus Christ. If you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me. Jesus, I had a brain fart there. You can support us financially, patreon.com/MCFixer, soon to be My Xbox and Me, or MXAM at least. Find us on all podcast services, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on Twitch. Shout out to our Patreon producer, Aaron God. Going to be our last month with Aaron God as Patreon producer. He has hit me up. He has let me know he is doing some stuff. So it's going to be our last month with Aaron God, but we appreciate all the support Aaron God has given this show for many years now. It's got to be at least 2 or 3 years. So thank you very much, Aaron God. You will never be forgotten, and we do appreciate it. Topic of the show this week. Boys, I thought we would talk about Xbox as a whole. We said last week that we were going to talk more about, obviously, Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation, health billions. I thought we could talk about Xbox as an ecosystem as a whole, because the internet's ablaze in some ways, and the internet's finally coming to terms with what Xbox is now in others. I just wanted to check in with where we're at. Xbox are coming off their biggest Gamescom they've done. They did a 3-day live show hosted by Xbox, the Xbox UK team. What are they called? Xbox On. Thank you. I did get it right. Which I know a few of the guys personally as well. They did a great job over there. Some fantastic interviews. Obviously, we had the Phil Spencer interview as well, where a lot of people are not happy with the interview, if we're being totally honest. So I thought we would just sit back and talk about the state of Xbox right now. Matt, I don't get to hear from you much, so let's start with you. When you think Xbox and when you think the state of Xbox, where is your head at right now?
I think actually, like right now, partly because of Gamescom, I'm a bit industry blind in the sense that like I was very much like very focused on doing what I was doing in Gamescom and not on the wider industry stuff. Like I didn't watch any of the Xbox coverage. I haven't seen the interview with Phil Spencer. I was just looking up now because I wasn't sure if it was in my brain under embargo or whether or not they actually announced that new Xbox, the discless one. And so like, yeah, I feel like I'm the closest I've ever been to your kind of casual game fan, weirdly. And so I think it's good. Like everything I'm seeing, I think is good. Like I've never been as strong on the whole like exclusivity bandwagon as a lot of people. I think Indiana Jones going to PlayStation or something timed exclusivity on anything. I think that's good for Xbox. We've talked about how we don't think Indiana Jones is as big of a tentpole franchise as it certainly once was, but whether or not it's even relevant enough to be a success in whatever Xbox see that wording as at the moment. You know, when you look at Game Pass and you're getting Black Myth Wukong and you're getting Space Marine coming to Game Pass? Space Marine 2? Why do I feel that's a Game Pass game? It's not, is it? It's not, is it? But you've got Dungeon of Hinterberg this year. You've already got Hellblade this year. Both games that I really enjoyed. And you know, Black Myth, I can say I've played Black Myth. Black Myth's good. I like it.
We'll get to that. Carry on.
I think it's good. I think you're getting your value for money. I think they're launching new stuff. I think it's an exciting ecosystem to be in. Yeah.
Okay. Despawn, where are you at right now? You're a man that owns a fridge, owns owns multiple consoles. Where are you? I'll ask this question to everyone afterwards. So carry on. Where are you?
I'm kind of like not as hyped up as Matt is about the whole Xbox being good thing, but I'm not like the internet where it's like all doom and gloom. I think they are so I think the choices that they're making at the moment are very good as a business sense, like trying to recoup money that they've spent and just getting that reach that they want. But if you are solely an Xbox fan, like if you only can afford one console and Xbox is the one you've chosen, I think you're going to start getting the raw end of the deal a little bit, just due to some of not just the conversation with what Xbox are doing, but what third-party publishers are doing around Xbox as well. I think they've basically set up a rod for their own back, which is kind of going to make them always seem, at least for this generation, as the lesser of the two. I mean, technically 3 consoles to choose from. Because I don't class PC when it comes to this, because PC like basically gets everything. But we are seeing games miss Xbox for various reasons. Some we don't know, some that people have been very vocal about. And it's a weird one at the moment, because it feels like while as a gamer, it feels like Xbox are trying to bring as much value to their own ecosystem as much as possible. But then they're also, on the second breath, watering that down a little bit by kind of just like throwing it out everywhere and making Xbox not the must be place to be anymore. It's a weird one. Like I understand the business reasons why they're doing it, but as a solely gamer reason, it feels like, I don't know, short-sighted moves by them.
Okay, interesting. Crash, where you at?
I think with most of their decisions, I don't dislike the decisions. I think for a big part for me, and I think it still holds true as of right now, it's Xbox's messaging and Xbox, the way they convey information just isn't great. Because I don't dislike the idea of Indiana Jones going multiplayer and them announcing it ahead of time. I just think the way they announced it ahead of time, having it be the special end at a trailer makes it feel like PlayStation is the special place to be. That could have been a blog post. That could have been 101 different ways that didn't go the way that it did there. The Phil Spencer interview as well, just sort of, not that it was poor, it just sort of unambiguous still. It doesn't answer the questions the way if you're a diehard Xbox fan and you want Xbox to improve as a console. And I think that's the big thing. As a console, Xbox is moving away from just being a console. Contrary to what they say, they announced they're going to be on more Fire Sticks. They announced all this stuff. They're going in this really heavy cloud and Game Pass movement. And that does mean your console is going to get less priority, even if Xbox isn't putting stuff over on PlayStation. Even like you're going to get less of a focus on console in the future. And so knowing that, I don't have that big of a problem with what they're doing, just more so the messaging around it. And I think if they tighten that up, I think perception of Xbox also changes. Because the big thing is they'll say one thing and then 2 months later they'll go and do the opposite, which hurts them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I kind of have to agree with you there, Crash. I think it's the marketing and the blog posts and this and that is like, it definitely feels like the messaging is counter to what they're trying to say. Or sometimes just not saying at all. It feels weird.
I agree with you for the most part, right? Like we've all definitely agree on the whole marketing and the way they say things is usually wrong. I feel like the one thing I will give credit for is like I saw a lot of people beating up on Phil for with what's the new game coming? I can't think of the word.
Jones.
Thank you very much. Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation. Where it's like, well, he said 4 games, and now this has come, and there was 2 months. It's like, yeah, but he was talking about a very specific instance when they had that interview. So he hasn't actually gone back on anything in that per se. He hasn't gone back on anything.
That's going on a technicality because the conversation around the time, the conversation to what Phil was responding to at the time was a bigger case of like games going to other platforms. So I get what you're saying. And if you were to like read fine print and if this was a legal proceeding, I 100% agree with you. Phil Spencer technically didn't say anything wrong, but there's also, what you're saying.
It's a marketing conversation.
100%.
That's what it is. At the end 100%. Of the day, everything that he said was true when he said it, and then there's a different conversation to be had after that. So I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare that situation. The thing I pick up on what you said, Crash, is like Xbox are coming to Fire Sticks, Xbox are coming to this, Xbox are moving away from consoles. Do you think that is the right play? Do you think in 2026, we assume, maybe 2027, we'll be getting a version of a new console, or maybe Xbox are going to go the Apple route now, right? Like we've already seen that with Xbox One to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One X. Is that what we're going to just see? Like a new version of Xbox? Some things will be back compat, some things won't. Like,
I think you'll always have a version for the foreseeable future of the console, only because especially if Xbox is going to be putting their games on multiple platforms, if you have it on your own console, you're having Game Pass, you're having all this money going through your console, you get a bigger cut if somebody buys it on your console. On top of you get a cut of all these other games. So I think for the foreseeable future, as long as there's enough of a base, so I do think next generation, whatever the next generation looks like, you will have an Xbox console.
What I'm saying is though, do you think it is the right thing what they're doing in terms of like moving away from the console and more focused on PC and other ecosystems?
I think to answer that, it depends on your view for cloud gaming. My answer would be no, because we've had the conversation. I don't rate cloud gaming very high. And that, I think that is a short-sighted thing from me, but I'm not gonna switch up on that.
Calm down, Matt. Calm down. All right. Don't start screaming.
You wait till you hear I've been playing Wukong. You're gonna be excited.
I don't care if you've been streaming that.
I don't know. To give my 2 bob on there, I'm kind of over it. I'm over the fan. I feel like I'm over the fandom of Xbox at this point. Like I saw the Xbox 360 Lego set. I was like, oh, I should get that. And then I was like, nah, I'm good. And then like every so often I look at the fridge and I'm like, oh, that's not plugged in. That was stupid. And now I'm just over it. Like, don't get me wrong. I still love the ecosystem of Xbox. I love Game Pass. I still play I play majority on my PC probably now. 90% of my games, other than if we get sent a code for something that's not, they run out of PC codes or something. I'm just over it in a weird way. There's a part of me now that's very much like, oh, okay, yeah, next generation, I'll be picking up my PlayStation 6 and my Nintendo Switch 2, and I'll have a PC. And I don't think I'll even, again, things might change. Xbox might offer to send one, whatever. We don't know what the situation will be, right? But from me, I don't feel the need to, Haley, you've got to go get an Xbox. I need to go get an Xbox. Nephews, nieces, go get an Xbox. Like, nah, it's cool. Realistically, I need to tell you to go get a PlayStation or a Switch, because probably more PlayStation for this conversation, if we're being honest, like, because the type of experiences we're talking about. But like, things are going to end up there anyway.
Yeah. So
that's kind of where I come down on it now. I'm kind of over it all. I'm over championing a plastic box that even the company that makes the plastic box doesn't care about anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. For me, I think for the next generation, I'm with you in so much as like I'll get the PlayStation and I'll get the Switch because they have unique experiences I know I can only get there. Whereas with Xbox, I feel like for the foreseeable future, even when it comes to the new generation, I feel like my current Xbox will be able to play those games. Whether it is there is a slightly lesser downgrade in graphics, or they offer the same thing I get with my Xbox One X in the living room, where I can cloud stream the best, like I can cloud stream series versions of games to that. And that's good enough for me because I've got a good enough internet. Like, I think cloud is good enough for what I want from a gaming experience. For me, I've got gig-internet fiber. I'm good. I'm all right.
Things are just disconnected from a Discord call a second ago.
Hey, yo, I've got fiber optic in there. My PC is just going through some emotional issues at the moment. Okay, don't worry about it. All right, all right.
And you want to just play on PC.
This is what you want from your future of gaming: a machine that gets emotional issues and can just decide it doesn't want to work for.
Whoa. If you're gonna make that statement happens with your Fire Stick or whatever else you're deciding to stream on. That's just a machine issue.
I don't think it does, Crash. I don't think it does. I'm sorry. I can't back that one with you, man.
Like, pretty much, if you're running a Fire Stick, if it's broken, probably software update. If that doesn't work, probably put it in the bin. Whereas a PC is like, oh, it could be the motherboard, it could be a driver, it could be a this, it could be a that.
You just download more RAM.
I was going to say, yeah.
Install more RGB. Everyone knows.
Don't do that at home, kids.
Do it.
I think the thing is to combat that conversation, I'm in the privileged position, right, where I've got PC parts coming out my butt cheeks. I've got multiple PCs in the household. Like, if something goes wrong, I can usually fix it and get back onto another gaming machine, a PC, pretty quickly. So, and then I'm not trying to humble brag or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, that's a very easy fix for me if that was the issue.
If tomorrow you had to go to one platform and that was it,
PlayStation all day long, mate. It's not even
really.
Not even a question. Wait, you're not counting PC, right?
Well, what I was going to say is you could go PC if you want, but like for me, PC is very expensive. I've constantly got to maintain and update and upgrade. Blah 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 blah. Like, you're spending way more on PC year on year than you are in a console ecosystem.
Do you know what I think it is? The issue I have, right, is, again, I really don't want this to come across as humble brag. It's not. I'm just trying to talk about my experience and the way how I've gone through in this industry, right? Again, I'm sitting in front of a £3,000 PC, probably. I didn't pay for it. My other PC, a £2,000 PC, probably. I didn't pay for it. So I'm coming. But let's get one thing very clear. I did buy my first PC at $2,000, and I remember the moment of buying that. And and I bought my first gaming laptop as well. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's a part of it now where I'm so entrenched in Steam and Epic, and even like GOG, like I just downloaded that to get Resident Evil, and like it doesn't bother me anymore. Once upon a time, I was if you're counting PC, it's PC, not even a question, right? Because the investment's already been done for me. But I'm talking about taking that away, right? Let's take everything out of your house and say tomorrow you need to start over and you're not getting free shit. Yeah.
Like, for me, like, I just think
I'm still buying a £3,000 PC.
It's PC.
Fair enough, maybe.
Like I played games on a 960, and let me tell you, if I could run when I was playing on a 960, if I could run the game at a reasonable graphics and frame rate, I would choose to play on my PC over a console.
Yeah.
It's just a more customizable experience in the way I interact with my PC and I interact with the game.
It's the way I play games as well, right? I play games very much while sat in a Discord call, waiting for people to jump in while I'm talking to them. And I very rarely obviously we've moved, I've got the house. I always thought, we're going to get the house. I've got a setup downstairs. I'm going to play games on the sofa. I never play games on the sofa. Yeah. It doesn't happen. Like, if anything, again, I pull out my laptop and play a game on my laptop while Haley's watching a TV show. So I'm still within that PC ecosystem. Yeah. I bought a Steam Deck. And why did I buy the Steam Deck? Because I'm like, well, I've really built up this catalog of games now on Steam, so I can just play that on my flight, on holiday, But yeah, if we're talking about all the platforms, PC all day long, if we're talking about consoles right now, PlayStation 5 all day, or PlayStation all day long, because I think they do it the right way for me, where they don't anger their audience too much, where it's a case of like, here is God of War, right? Or Horizon's probably the better thing right now. Here is for Horizon, Forbidden West. Game comes out, does well, gets supported by the community. The zeitgeist is done, the conversation is over. Boom. Now PC players can have it. And no one's angry about that because everyone's already had that zeitgeist moment.
Some people were angry about it. Let's face it.
No, that's not. I'm not talking about the idiots on Twitter. I'm talking about like the large. I'm not talking about the large majority of people, right? Like they're just like, okay, well, I've had that experience, and that was 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, maybe. With this whole Indiana Jones thing, it's like it feels like, again, maybe I'm being a bit too hyperbolic, but it does feel like a bit of a spit in the face. Like, hey, you Game Pass, you buy that. And then everyone else can, after you've beta tested this, got rid of the bugs, got rid of the issues, made sure it's launched properly, then we're going to move it to another platform, and everything we've learned, they get a full-on better experience with no issues if there is issues at launch.
I was going to say, I think that's a little bit unfair to say.
Why?
Because it's not a beta test. It's not a launch. It's not. But like that is what you said.
It's a hyperbolic. Okay, it's a hyperbolic take. Maybe we take out the beta tested, but everything else I said is true.
I think
if there is a known issue in Indiana Jones that breaks your Xbox day one, obviously that probably won't happen. But let's say it does happen, it's going to come to PlayStation. It's not going to break your PlayStation because that issue is going to be resolved.
Yeah,
there could be a different issue though. Like that, like the problem with what you're saying is like there could be something else that happens on PlayStation. Then do you go the opposite way and say like, oh, you should always play on the Xbox because the Xbox version didn't have the bug that the PlayStation version ended up having?
Well, no, but you know what I'm saying here in terms of like a game comes to a system, and then a couple. It's not like this is a year late. It's a couple of months.
Yeah,
like. I remember we had this conversation about like, oh, games are gonna. I think Matt said it, if I'm being honest, where it was like, oh, games are gonna come out a month later, and we were all like, hell no, it's never gonna happen. I'm pretty sure he said it.
Yeah,
on one of the podcasts a while ago. I'm pretty sure you did, and we were like, there's no way that's gonna happen. And now look at us. We're not even that far removed from that. We got games like we're excited for Blade. We all know those games are coming to PlayStation, and it's probably gonna be 2 months after as well. There's not enough breathing room to have that water cooler moment or I got to play this experience here moment. It's just like, okay, well, we'll just wait.
I think the problem is, and it's what we talked about before, like Xbox is happy, I think now, to abandon the idea of consoles.
Absolutely.
Like, people aren't ready for it. I get it. And there is, again, weird messaging in Xbox launching a new console. I'm fully aware that is a bit of but they are also, bringing out Call of Duty, which is fucking 450 gig or whatever it's going to be. And so they need to bring out a new console with more storage probably, right? But like that water cooler moment that you're talking about, what they want is for a game like Indiana Jones to launch and for people to be playing on their Xbox and loving it and talking about it, And for people to be playing on their smart TVs and their Fire Sticks and loving it and talking about it. And then as that conversation dies, especially with a single player game, where that time span is short, couple of months, now it's on now it's on PS5 as well. And that conversation starts back up again. And if you're on PS5 and you're buying it for 70 quid, you're a bit of a mug because the guys on Game Pass just paid 20 quid for 2 months to get it, or whatever it was, right? 15, or whatever it is now, 20 quid.
For Ultimate. We can't even quit Game Pass. I said we can't even quit Game Pass anymore. Game Pass Ultimate. We have to quit Game Pass Ultimate. We can't even just quit Game Pass anymore.
Sure. And so I think that's where the conversation is going to be. It's going to be, yeah, you can give us 70 quid on your PlayStation if you want and play it 2 months late. Great. Lovely. Money. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, people who are on Game Pass played it 2 months ago and have spent 20 quid, and they've also played another 5 games and keep dipping into Call of Duty and getting, probably free currency in Call of Duty for being on Game Pass or whatever the fuck it is.
No chance.
That's not going to happen.
As I said it out loud, it's probably thinking, well.
What they're going to do is they're going to offer you they're going to offer you Call of Duty currency. They're going to give you a free World of Warcraft subscription. They're going to give you a free Office subscription.
Do you think they start doing like, and this may have already happened because Call of Duty's kind of got to this place, but like Master Chief skin in Call of Duty, all the Xbox players, they can have that Master Chief skin.
Probably. I think you'll get there now.
Yeah.
I think now you'll definitely get there. I could see it.
Because then the people playing it on PlayStation are constantly seeing that fucking thing, right?
Yeah, it's just like the Fortnite model, right? Like, put enough IPs in this that people will like. It happened with WWE. Like, there's a bunch of people I know who bought the WWE skins just so they could run around and, do the takedowns and be Rey Mysterio.
The thing I'm saying is like it's more like an actual marketing ploy almost.
I agree. Yeah.
That you're like, hey, let's put all our characters into Call of Duty because all the people on PlayStation love Call of Duty.
Oh, there will 100% be a Black Cell unlock for Master Chief at some point in Call of Duty.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
I could have thought so. Yeah. But to move away from just the Indiana Jones conversation, we just had the Nintendo Direct. Again, I haven't watched it, but I did see the news pop off about. I can't remember the name of the exact title. Crash, do you know exactly what it's called?
It's the collection with 8 games. I don't remember what it's called.
There's a new collection, Volume 2, that's just come out, and once again is skipping Xbox. And I think that's also part of the problem, right? There is enough experiences now that come out that are launching on Switch, on PlayStation, but not on Xbox. That you're going, why? There's too many issues. We're about to talk about Wukong, right? Another great experience that's out there on PC and PlayStation, and there's not an Xbox version of it. It's crazy.
It's also called Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like, there has to be a conversation going on right now in Xbox where we're like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Why is Capcom not putting this game on the system? Because it moves so fewer units because of something like Game Pass now, where like people just expect that sort of thing to be on Game Pass, so then they don't purchase it on Xbox. I don't think that's the case, but it could be.
It could definitely be a contributing factor for sure. Like, I think I've said it before, like I am very hard pressed to pick up a game on Xbox nowadays. Mainly, again, I don't know if that's just from my privileged position of being like a PC gamer primarily, but like, I rarely log onto Xbox to buy a game. Like, I've stopped, like, chasing achievements. It's not a thing I care about as much anymore.
Yep.
Like, there used to be a time, like, hitting 100,000 gamer score was such a big achievement for me.
Yep.
No pun intended. But it's just, like, now I'm like, I don't care about getting to the next 100,000. Like,
it's lost that special sauce, hasn't it?
It's lost the shine, yeah. The shine
you don't feel
really
like the gaming community stuff has lost that special sauce in general, though.
Yes.
And we'll never get back there. Think about the old Gears of War 2 days where you would find, somebody would be kicking your ass. You'd find their profile. You'd go, you see how much G they've got. You see what achievements they got. They haven't even played the fucking campaign. Send them a message. All of that's gone, right? Nobody cares anymore about any of that
trolls.
stuff.
If you do stuff like that, you're viewed as being excessive and weird at that point. Nowadays you are.
But when we were 12, we were all fucking doing it, right?
Come on. The kids doing it.
But are the 12-year-olds still doing it? Are they clicking on the Fortnite profile and it's only level 60 and not level 100 and they're like, oh, what a noob? Like, maybe. I don't know. I'm not 12 anymore.
Yeah, maybe. But I do feel like all of that community stuff has gone, right? And part of it was because it was so new that it was accessible. Like when 360 came and we had achievements, it was like, oh, it's a level playing field. But now it's not, right? Like I lost my account, my old Microsoft account, because of old emails and blah blah blah. So when the Xbox Series X came out, I started over, and obviously I don't care now about my achievements, and I don't care about X, Y, and Z. And so like I think you do lose some of the magic, right? I totally get that. But I think
any of you lost your magic for gaming right now? Is there a part of any of you that are like, I'm done, I'm over it?
No,
I'm done.
No, gaming is there for me. Like,
Chris is definitely like, yes.
Yeah, Chris is like, until Smite 2 comes out, I'm done with gaming.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look, there is a part of me that's like, I don't have as much joy from the general concept of gaming as I used to, where it's harder for me to sit down and just enjoy a game. And I think part of that's also just being too much in the conversation. Like even when I tried Wukong, like the conversation online made me not want to jump back into the game. It's because like on both sides, like this game's a 10 out of 10, this game's a 2 out of 10 or whatever. People weren't saying it was a 2 out of 10, but people were saying it was horrible. And it's like, I dislike the way the discourse in general happens about gaming right now. And so it just kind of makes it hard, at least for me, to like exist in that space to a degree.
Yeah,
I think sorry, go on, Despawn.
I was going to say, I feel like we can get into the discussion around gaming, but yeah, I think there's like a loss of nuance a little bit when it comes to it. It's like it's very black and white, or it has to be to grab headlines. And like now that you can, monetize an opinion, it's like you have to have the most vitriolic opinion on everything. There's no room for it's okay.
I think a perfect example right now, right? Star Wars Outlaws is out right now. I've played it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, comes out. It's sitting at about 77 on Metacritic. So about a 7 across the boards. It's apparently on the internet, it's the worst game ever. And I'm just like, none of you have played it.
Yeah,
I can tell that none of you have played it. I can tell that none of you can give me an informed opinion on this game. Even if you do dislike it, that's fine. But it's strange, and I think you're right. It's the fact of monetizing your voice right now on platforms like X and TikTok. It's so much. It's like, if I love this, it'll get attention. If I hate this, it'll get attention. If I say it's okay, no one cares. So everyone goes with the either or of the spectrum, right?
Look at Concord, right? I see people bashing that game. When they bash that game, they're not talking about the gameplay. They're not talking about anything that's relevant. They're talking about player counts. Like, look at this. It hasn't hit 700. Look on current players on Steam. That's all they ever talk about because they haven't played the game. So it's like, why does the discourse around Concord matter to almost anybody? Because most people haven't played it to actually have an actual conversation for it.
It's weird. It's something I've struggled with. Like I've said this, I was talking to Haley about this today. Like I was talking about the MC Fixer as a business, right? And was like, I'm really struggling in this new school of content creating because I'm not the person to like. I go off the hinge when I'm actually passionate about something, like we saw, and like that's when I'm actually passionate about something. I find it very hard to do. Like I watch a lot of TikTok at the moment, and I'm like trying to observe the platform to like try and do something. I'm just like, I'm just so boring compared to these people because I'm not the let's bash on this. And I'm just like, maybe it's because I'm too, I think like you said, Chris, right? It's like we're too in the conversation. And then for like some of us who have now been in the industry for a really long time, it's like, I know people that worked on Star Wars. Yeah. I know people that work on these booths. I know people that work on the Matt. You work on these entire game shows, like showcases. So then it's hard to then sit there and be like, trash. I hate this. It sucks. When you're like, don't worry, I just had 10 sleepless nights making this happen, which obviously with game dev, it's way more than that. But you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it is an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I think that's it. Is like, and I guess it's just like from having just like any semblance of empathy. Is like you recognize the amount of work that goes into releasing something into the world. And like, because from all of us, we've all created something in some way or other. And it's like when you put that amount of work into something to put it out in the wild, and then a load of uninformed opinions come back, and it's just like, this is trash. I could do better. Do better then. Good. Instead of bashing other people's things, go do better.
It's also not a case of like, I think you can critique something, and that's fine.
I was just going to say that. 100% agree.
What happens a lot of the time,
obstructive criticism.
it's not criticism. It's just bashing the game for stuff you dislike, or not even disclosing that it's like, I dislike it. It's stating it as definitively it's bad, and not even like viewing it in a criticism sort of way. It's just like, it's bad. I like X, Y, and Z. This doesn't do any of that. So it's a horrible game. You shouldn't play it. It's one of the worst experiences. It's like an 8, but it's one of the worst games ever.
Worst ever.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. We're in a very interesting spot. Go on, Matt. Sorry.
I had a really interesting chat with somebody who reviewed Outlaws for a pretty big site. I won't say who, but they were talking about. They gave it, I think, like
be careful saying the score, because then you're narrowing down who it is.
Sure, a middling score, let's say, right? And we were talking about what the purpose of a review is, a video game review. And I've always very much approached it from a buying advice point. And we've all talked about this as well. It's like, and I think you can boil it down to, if you love X and Y, you're probably going to love Star Wars Outlaws, right? Like, everything you keep hearing about the game in general is that it's a great Star Wars world and it feels like Star Wars. And so if you love the canon of Star Wars, you're probably going to really enjoy it. And then everything else is like kind of Ubisoft, what you'd expect from a Ubisoft game in sort of its open world. And we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, I haven't played it. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, go on.
I haven't played it. But what they were saying is they don't approach it like that at all. What they approach it like they are reviewing art. It's not about what the end user thinks of the thing. They're reviewing art. They're reviewing how an experience made them feel and sort of what their experience with it was. And so that was really interesting sort of dichotomy to me as like somebody who does think that video games are art, which I do. But that is not how I would approach reviewing a video game, even though I've never reviewed a video game.
That's why we let Despawn review our video games, all right? Like,
except for outside of Xbox and me.
No, but, that's why Despawn does our reviews.
Okay, fair enough.
No, you're right, though. Go on, finish. Please finish.
No, well, I wasn't really going anywhere else, but I think it's interesting, especially around something like Star Wars, especially around something that's like an IP, where it is towing that line so hard of, is it art or is it a product? Is it a toy? And those two things are very different. And to review those two things are very, very different. And so even when, if all of the scores landed at a 3 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10, you have to remember that every single person is reviewing it from a massively different perspective.
That's what I was just about to say. That's why, like, picking your voices is so important, right? People who listen to this podcast, right? And there's many of them, we hear from them a lot of the time praising Crash, which is crazy. But they know when they come and listen to us idiots talk about video games, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's a very different conversation around like, hey, I'm going to talk about Star Wars. My favorite character in Star Wars is Jar Jar Binks. Should probably take what I say about Star Wars with a pinch of salt, right?
Yeah,
sure.
And then there's me over here with the Star Wars tattoos and like an annual watch along of all the films. It's like, maybe if you want to get Star Wars fans' opinion, hi. But
then on the flip side, right? If you want an opinion on Resident Evil, and then Resident Evil title comes out, you know full well that I can give you a well-informed conversation on most survival horrors. Shut the hell up, Crash. I didn't love 8. Remember that, yeah? Matt come on this podcast loving 8. I was the one who come on being like...
You also...
No.
You hated 7.
I flipped on 7, though. Yes, okay. And when it first came... You got to remember, 7 was the first big one after 6. And it took away a lot of my characters, so I was hurt. But yes,
that's fair.
I can. But I did flip on it. 7 is a great game. 7's a great game.
Yeah, I was going to say though, anything after 6 is a great game. Like coming off.
Doesn't think 8 is a great game.
No, but what I'm saying is coming off the bottom of the barrel of 6.
8 is a great game. 8 that's what I was about to say. Yeah. When did Remake 3 come out?
That came out after.
It came after 6.
Yeah, it came after 6. Yeah,
definitely.
And that's only a good game, not a great game.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're off topic. But yeah, no, picking your voice is very important. And anything else to add on this conversation, boys, before we move on?
I don't even remember what conversation we're on because we started off at the state of Xbox and now we're talking about informed opinions on video game.
It's what we do here, man. We do what we want. That's what we.
I think you've already said it a little bit, but yeah, I think. Be careful of the voices you listen to on the internet for opinions, because remember that people are trying to monetize it. Like, even we are. Like, we want you to subscribe. We want you to get in the Patreon. But, you know, I hope that you know that when we come with our opinions, it's not solely for that. Like, we
I think that's why we're not successful, Despawn, because we're not
monetizing our opinion that much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's probably why, you know.
But but what I'm saying is, like, out there, if you are wanting to make decisions based on other people's opinions, make sure you're following the right opinions, and they are people giving those opinions for the right reasons, and it is not solely just to grift. Like, there are people out there that are solely there just to make money off of bad faith arguments. Avoid those people. Make sure that you're listening to multiple, not just one person's opinion. Like, get multiple opinions that you believe in and you can trust. And yeah, let's bring a bit more nuance back into the conversations.
Let's do that indeed. Speaking of nuance, should we go through our opening night live predictions and I'll do it very quickly, right? We'll start with Matt. Liza P DLC announcement, 0 points.
Heartbreaking.
We will see more from Light on Fire, and Sean Murray will say something stupid, 0 points.
Yeah.
Another look at Crimson Desert release window.
We saw Crimson Desert in the show, didn't we?
Nope.
Really?
It was bigger Gamescom, not opening night live. Yeah.
0 points. Hugh Jackman on stage, Wolverine gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, that was
0
wild,
points.
wasn't it? That was, why did I say that?
Troy Baker, Todd Howard, Jeff Keighley, and Phil Spencer. One person wearing an Indiana Jones hat. 0
We heard
points.
Troy Baker.
Oh, that's
You
not
would
what
do
this
that.
announcement says.
Told you.
Would you
Told
want
you would do
0?
that.
Do you want 0.1 point?
I would love 0.1 point.
Okay, cool.
I'm just
Who wants
saying.
to give? No, wait. Crash, do you want to give him 0.1 point?
I don't want to. No.
Despawn, do you want to give him 0.1 point?
No.
I don't want to either. Unanimous decision. Matt,
Wow.
you end the show on 0 points.
Get in the comments, people.
Despawn. Red Dead Redemption PC announcement release date. 0 points. Like a Dragon TV show, 0 points. Like a Dragon new game announced, 0 points. You were today it got announced a new game on Switch.
Okay.
Sorry, mate. You were yeah.
Wait, did it?
Did it?
Not a brand new game, but they announced a game on Switch. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2K XO. What the hell was that?
fighting
Open
game.
beta announcement. Oh yeah, I remember. Brand new character added to Tekken. It's Tifa. 0 points.
2-6.
0 points. Crash. 3 Disney games shown.
I got 2 Disney games shown.
So
You did
close.
get 2.
It's worth 0 points.
Do you want to give him 0.2 point?
No.
Okay, me either. Everwild. That's just, I forgot you said that. Everwild, 0 points. Killer Instinct, 0 points. Contraband announced, 0 points.
Also,
Me.
you skipped
Go on.
over it. Blue Protocol global release
Oh,
date.
yeah,
and,
sorry.
And that was also 0 points.
I did. So apologies.
You forgot
That was
0
so
points.
important.
Rex.
That was so
You
important.
ruined me.
Me, something Sonic Hedgehog related, 0 points. Streets of Rage, Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Game Pack, extended more gameplay, 0 points. PlayStation published new IP, first party game, 0 points. We will see Resident Evil 9, 0 points. Def Jam icon game, Snoop Dogg coming on stage to announce it, 0 points. We got nothing. We wasn't even close.
Nope.
When I say not even close, it's scary how off the mark we was.
I mean, technically, Matt was the closest. Like, I mean, Indiana Jones was on.
His voice that was already announced that it was going to be there.
I know that's why it was the closest.
I was closer. I got 2 Disney games, bro. What are you talking about?
That's true, actually. That's true.
One
That is
Disney
true.
game off.
One of
Yeah,
those
you know
Disney
what?
games were announced.
I think we can give Crash the win.
Both of them. Yeah, you're right. Both of them was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can give
About
Crash
until
the
the
win on
time
that.
until after.
No.
No.
No
Nobody gets
one's
the
gonna win.
No one gets the
We
win.
all get the lose. We all get the
Idiots.
lose.
We're all losers here.
Where are we at with time, Despawn?
45 minutes.
Perfect. All right, let's do what's been in our box real quickly, boys. I think I'm the only one that's played the most relevant game that we'll be talking about, which is Star Wars Outlaws. What, you play Star Wars Outlaws?
No, but I played other games that are relevant.
Who has Star Wars Outlaws?
I've got a code. Thank you.
Yes, you do, Despawn. Yes, you do. Mr.
Hashtag
Ubisoft's
gifted.
got you covered. Hashtag gifted by me. Gresh, I don't even know if you want a code.
No, I don't. No,
I didn't think you did. I'll be honest with you. I was like, yeah, I didn't think you would. Well, so, okay. Star Wars Outlaws, I've been playing it. Obviously, I work for Ubisoft. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. The boring stuff I get. where do I start with this game? Like I said, number one, I like the game. I like the game a lot. It is very much reminiscent, like you said, it nails being a Star Wars game. And I think for some reason, some people seem to forget that that's kind of a key component of a Star Wars game. It needs to feel like a Star Wars world. And this game absolutely nails that. Everything down to its art style, down to the characters, down to the world building, nailed. Honestly, I just got through a part of the game. Again, no spoilers, where I've gone on my first like out in space. I'm in the ship and stuff like that. Very simplistic combat, but I respect it for it. It like coming from someone who doesn't usually enjoy those mandatory missions where you're doing something that you don't quite enjoy doing. They nail that combat for like, it's simple, it's easy to understand, point, click, shoot, it works. Really, really do like that. And I guess that's probably some people's critiques of the game as well, right? That it is a little bit too simple, but we'll get onto that in a second. I really like the characters that I have experienced so far. Kay, Nyx, obviously Nyx being the companion. You can control, I don't know exactly what type of animal he is. So you can control them. Alien. Yeah, it's definitely an alien of some sort. You can. Why are you laughing, Crash?
What a dumb response.
I don't know what a species is.
It's an alien, no, not you. Matt.
You said, I don't know what type of animal he is. Like you were fishing for like dog or cat or some shit.
I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know what to. Anyway, they are a very cute.
I'll tell you that much for free.
They're a very cute alien that you're able to control. He can do things like fetching. He can do things like opening doors, pulling levers, things like that, stealing items off of enemies, grenades, money, things of that nature. I don't think I'm utilizing him very well at the moment. Clearly, the game wants you to use him a lot more than I'm currently using him, which is catching me into situations where I'm getting frustrated, but I think that is very much on me because the game. So little things, Matt. I can see your mind going, what do you mean? There's little, like, the game's very open in terms of like, it's an open world game, obviously, but you can go on certain missions. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot more, this is the way you have to go.
A lot more linear,
and it isn't. A lot more linear. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. A lot more linear. It isn't. It's very much like, okay, you can go this way, you can go this way, sneak that way, do this. Boom, works. And I'm not utilizing him when I get to certain points. I'm getting frustrated. Like, I don't know what I'm meant to do. There's a vent over there, mate. You're meant to send him through the vent, and then he'll open the door for you. And I'm just not clicking as quickly as I should be. Shooting combat, it's fine. I think that's probably one of my biggest critiques so far. Again, I'm very early on. I haven't upgraded my blaster yet. You can grab other weapons. I experienced so you've got your normal blaster. There's a sniper rifle I've used and an assault rifle gun as well. But you can't hold on to those guns at all. Like, you can't holster them. You can't. If you go and climb a ladder, the character K will drop it. If you jump, I think it drops it as well. If you open the door, it drops it. So I don't love that about the game. The shooting itself is fine. I like the mechanic they've built in this game in terms of like, it knows when you're peeking around a corner if you're on the left-hand side of a wall and you shoot, it will aim out and shoot that way. Like, it's not like you have to click or anything like that. Very, very cool. I like that. I hope they keep that in most of their games. And I've seen, like you said, Matt, there's a critic. What Jesus words for me today? Criticism out there. I was getting there. Thank you. A criticism out there from people saying, "Oh, it's a Ubisoft game." I don't think those people have played this game. Then, if I'm being totally honest, this doesn't feel like your typical Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Ghost Recon type of game for me. It feels. Don't get me wrong. It has those elements as such, but it doesn't feel the same way of like, open map, bop, 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 bop. Here's a tower here. Here's a tower here. Sync point here. I've done none of that so far. It's been more reminiscent of like my playthrough of like Fallout, if anything. In terms of like, okay, I jump on my speeder. I'm on my way to my mission, and then question mark pops up. I landed a tan. It's like, there's treasure here. Do you want to go and get the treasure? No, I'm okay. No problem. Keep it moving. But it's not the normal Ubisoft sync point, take out this bandit camp, spin the camera around 6 times, music plays. None of that's happened. So I don't really understand where people are getting that opinion of the game itself. My biggest critique of the game so far, after about 6 hours, is I hate forced stealth. It is the biggest issue with this game.
So, from
please.
what I've seen, and like you can answer this for me, I guess. Is it, if I'm right in saying it, is it one of those where it's an insta-fail stealth as
Instant.
well? I hate that. Like give me the option to go guns blazing if I mess it up. That's what I want.
Do you know what I think is the most infuriating? It is the most infuriating thing about this game, because as you know, I am not someone who enjoys stealth that much. I will always try stealth, and then when it goes wrong, I will shoot my way out of a situation. So far, the game has not allowed me to do that at all. And there is a lot of stealth in this game. I think if you like stealth, you're going to love it. Sneaking up to people, doing your takedown attacks, getting nicks to distract enemies. You're going to enjoy all of that stuff. But yeah, I had a mission today that I was playing where I just couldn't get it. And I kept making mistake. And it was just instant foul, reload back, instant foul, reload back. And it's even the little things where you've gone around collecting certain materials and things like that. They're all gone. It reloads you back to the point. You have to go back to this alleyway that you've run down already, pick up that stuff. And it's like, damn it. It's so infuriating when you're as a player, because it just it takes you out of that world instantly when it happens, right? Like, I have no problem overwhelm me with enemies and kill me. Like, that's not a problem. Set the alarms off and then you're ready for that type of thing. You're gonna try to shoot your way out, it doesn't happen, you die, then you reload. You die, it makes sense. But because I accidentally punched an enemy and then the guy heard it and then it's instant foul, it's just, it's so annoying. It feels very reminiscent of like the olden days of gaming, the PS2, maybe the 360 generation. It's not something I expect in a game of at 2024. That being said, I do enjoy the game quite a lot. I am looking forward to carrying on. I'm enjoying the story so far. I'm seeing a lot of critiques about the story. Again, I'm not coming at it from a deep lore Star Wars fan, so maybe that's why I'm enjoying it more for what it is. I'm on this journey with this thief that is terrible at everything and keeps making mistakes along the way, just like I do as the player. So I kind of could kind of relate in that way. I'm enjoying that aspect of it. But yeah, I don't know, any questions I can answer for you boys? Again, I'm assuming both of you are going to play it. You're both Star Wars fans, so
how cool does the taking off into space actually feel? Because I know it was a big selling point originally.
I liked
the pre-release stuff.
I liked it a lot. I've only done it the once. My ship technically still can't. I don't want to spoil it, but there's certain things my ship can't do right now.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's really cool. I like the transition into space is cool. When you get out there, it's very cool. I was very much like, oh, okay. I expected to hate that.
Yeah.
Like, generally a visceral hate, and I don't have that for that at all, because I do think it again. I didn't get to it in Starfield in the end, but because I just avoided it at all costs. I just didn't want to be in the spaceship at all. Like with this, it was like, I got to this mission, I was like, okay, this could be the moment I stop playing.
Yeah.
Altogether. And it wasn't. It was like, okay, this is very easy. This is very, very manageable. I've got this, and this, bam, very good. Yeah, it's very cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'll get a follow up on that one, I guess. Like, does it feel like more of an arcade shooter in space? Like, with it just just run
absolutely
point,
absolutely.
Rather than the Starfield.
It gives you like a little point where you can sort of shoot in front of them, which then means you're going to hit the target.
Yeah.
Very arcadey, very, like I say, very simplistic, which I love about it.
Yeah.
Matthew?
How would you say, sort of challenge-wise, like, are there, I don't even know, are there different difficulty settings?
Yeah.
Are you finding it challenging outside of the stealth segments? I'm talking like guns blazing.
Oh yeah, I've died a few times.
Cover-based shooter. Yeah?
Yeah, I've died a few times. Like, again, it's... Again, you're meant to use Nyx a lot to then the health will get dropped off enemies, right? And you're meant to sort of send him out to fetch the health back to you when you get into like sticky situations.
Yeah.
I forget to do that 9 times out of 10.
Sure.
So I'm like hid behind a rock with like this much health left, tiny bit of health left, and just like, what do I do? What do I do? And it's like, idiot, just send Nix out to go and get the help.
Nix is just stood there going, what the hell, man? What am I,
Use
chopped
me.
liver?
Use me. Yeah, I'm just forgetting to all of a sudden. But yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not been easy for me. There's a certain mission that you have to free some animals. And that was very challenging the first 6 times that I did it until I ran around the back of their camp and then found the secret passageway, went through that, bum. Then it was easy. So, I feel like it's one of those games where you can make it as easy or as hard as you want to,
yeah.
like a lot of Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Ubisoft do a great job of that, of like, hey, idiot, you've ran in head first 6 times now, maybe try a different approach. So I did that, and then I got in with ease. So as easy or as hard as you make it.
Yeah. With the, like say, with the different approaches you've got to it, like how varied are they? Because like obviously I'm sure there's ones where you can just run in and shoot everyone. There's ones where you can talk your way through stuff. Do you find the options are varied between each mission, or is it very much like some have linear and some have various paths in?
So far, it's been quite open, to be honest with you. Everything that I've done's been quite open. Don't get me wrong. I do definitely feel like there's a hand on my back sometimes, like, hey, go this way. But the game doesn't tell you to do that. It just very much feels that way, right? You've got your grappling hook item as well, which helps you traverse the world a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's options. There's a lot of options. I've tackled, when you replay, when you do get fat out, you end up going in different directions, right? I've been like, oh, this is cool. I could have went through this vent and came out this end instead of coming out that end. And this seems like there's enough variation there when I'm playing the game, to be honest with you, that I'm not doing the same thing over and over. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah,
I'm excited.
So far enjoying it. I'm interested to see what both you think. But yeah, so far I am enjoying it. Like I say, I've got a few issues here and there, but not enough to stop me from playing the game and beating it, to be honest with you.
Cool.
He's going to beat it.
I beat everything, mate. I'm not you.
Wait, no.
Rude.
What haven't I beaten?
Elden Ring?
Yet.
Infinite Wealth?
I beat.
He beat Infinite. Don't. Why you have to, like, why I had him and then you have to, like,
massaging my ego. Also, I beat Infinite Wealth. What'd you take me for? Final Fantasy 7? Beat it. Infinite Wealth? Beat it. What's my name? Crash? No way.
I beat Elden Ring.
That was like 2 years ago.
I beat it again when I played it on PC.
I beat Elden Ring. It's not a big deal.
No, I'm not saying it's not big.
Oh, not yet.
You're there, though. You're there.
I'm at the end.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
He's
I'm always at the end. I'm always right there.
I'm not beating it. Will I beat Eltree?
I don't think I'm going to beat Erdtree at this point. Mesmer's guard's pissing me off.
No,
No, probably not. Probably not. Maybe.
Have you?
I might beat him my Sameless co-op.
Played it yet, Matt?
Erdtree, I started it, then I got COVID and my brain and my fingers couldn't keep up.
Fair.
So I haven't got back to it yet.
Can we hear about what you have been playing, if anything?
You certainly can. So, Despawn talked about it last week, but we both got hands on with Stalker 2 on the old Xbox at Gamescom. That was good fun. But we only played for half an hour, so who knows what that'll end up actually being like. But it was good fun, what we did play. But the thing I've been playing most is Black Myth Wukong. And I was awfully scared before I started playing because I saw one tweet from Crash who said, I don't think Black Myth's for me. And it made me sad. What was wrong? Have you talked about it on the pod? Have I missed it?
Yeah, spoke about it last week.
No, I didn't. I didn't really speak about it on the pod. No, we talked in the live stream. We talked about Black Myth.
Oh,
we didn't go over what's in our box.
Yeah,
Also,
you're right.
Yeah.
Fix, if you want to take a break right now, you can, because I've also played Black Myth. So, like, if you want to just step back a bit and go get a drink or something, us three will just talk about
break fix.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank God. We've been trying to get rid of that man for years.
I'm
really impressed with it. I really, really like it. I think like it's fascinating to be in a world where, you know, Lies of P came out last year, Black Myth's coming out this year, and people are really putting out good Souls games that aren't coming out of From Software. And so, go on.
Black Myth isn't a Souls game.
No.
Well, this is the argument, I suppose, isn't it?
No, it's not an argument. You're misselling the game if you tell somebody, get Black Myth because it is a Souls game.
No,
what is the thing that you think it means it's not a Souls game?
There's no exploration.
The way the
no
combat
secrets,
works,
the combat.
it's not Souls combat.
In what sense?
B, in the sense of how the combos work. Like you have legit combos in the game, the way abilities work. Like it's way more reminiscent of a Neo game than it is a Souls game.
Okay.
And even Neo gets looks like the point. If you can argue whether that's a Souls game, what keeps it for most people in the conversation is the fact that when you die, you lose all your souls. You don't really have that experience in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not against like not defining it as a Souls like. But
I'd also argue that I wouldn't find it as good either.
Wow.
That's
like
I think it's good. What's so wrong with it?
So are you saying it's a bad game, Despawn?
I would say it's contextually it's a great game. Like I think performance wise and on a technical level,
Despawn caught himself. He misspoke. That's cool.
It's a good game, but when it comes to being a game, it's not fun. Like there's no personally, I don't find it a fun experience. I find like the combat is, if we're being honest, it is basic. Like you can play that game by pressing 3 buttons. Like you could press light attack, you could press dodge, and you could press the button to hold down the special attack.
Most games,
I think you can make an argument for most games to have that conversation. Because you could go and have that conversation. You could do Elden Rings like that. You could have the conversation about any of the God of War games, either the old ones or the new ones. You can have that conversation for Devil May Cry if you want to. Like that conversation is there. I think where with Black Myth Wukong, where the combat comes into more of a play is when you get to the boss fights, which was when I find that game actually was fun. During boss fights.
I agree.
I think during the minions, the regular ads you run into in the wild, they're boring,
pointless.
they're irrelevant.
They're
I kind of wish they weren't in the game.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And I think like it yes, to its own detriment, it has too many of like those areas. And I think I agree with what you hinted at earlier, Despawn, of like exploration not being great. Like it sucks. It's so hard to compare this to Elden Ring because they're just not the same scale. But in Elden Ring, if you see something and go, oh, what's that? It's something. If you see something in Black Myth and go, oh, what's that? It's an invisible wall. Yeah. That's what it is. If you go off the beaten path too much, you're in invisible wall territory.
It's not even too much. It's like you straight up, like you take a slight detour and it's like invisible wall.
I don't think invisible walls are that big of an issue. I think because if you want more linear games, and we've talked about how we want more linear experiences, you have to take invisible walls with that. I think it's the way they do invisible walls where it looks like an area is explorable. Yes. And it's not explorable. You're saying no invisible walls. Fix.
I'm with Fix. You don't need invisible walls. It's better level design. You need better level design.
Thank you. Agree. I don't agree with your statement. Not that I don't agree with. I agree with Despawn in terms of like you can have linear games without invisible walls. You just have to have better game design.
I think it's a real challenge when you try and set a game where they're trying to set a game.
Sure,
like forests and deserts.
The game design.
When you play a game and you walk and there's a bunch of boxes blocking away and you can't go through there and there's something physical, that's still an invisible wall as far as I'm concerned. When I'm playing a character that should be able to blow that up and does a whole bunch of crazy stuff consistently, that's the equivalent of an invisible wall.
No, it's not. It's literally not, because it's boxes. It's indestructible boxes. It's not an invisible wall.
There's trees in Black Myth Wukong.
I don't know.
There's a small ledge. I'm going off of it.
I'm going off of what you guys are saying. I've not played the game yet. I will play it.
Games consistently stop you from going over ledges.
No, but that's the conversation we're having.
No, I'm not talking about a small cliff. I'm talking like a lip up, like
okay.
And it is 100% immersion breaking, and like we've talked about this in the past. Like
that's fair.
Yeah.
The problem with it in Black Myth is it does that thing where like it almost tricks you. Like I don't mind it if there are invisible walls there, but like the frequency at which I believe I can go to that spot and I can't is frustrating.
Yeah, there's been so many times where I've walked up to something that's like there's a little path down the bottom of here that looks like you can run across it and there's going to be enemies and stuff, and all you have to do is jump over this one tiny branch. You jump up to the tiny branch, you just go, yeah.
Like, there's even a point where an NPC runs it like off a tiny little waterfall, and it's like, he's running away from me,
Can
and I go chase him, and I can't go.
Can I interject for just 2 seconds?
Go.
Yeah, go on.
Let's just remember this is the studio's first.
I was
ever
gonna
game.
say that.
And totally. And so
Yeah.
like I think what Deesball said about the combat being too simplistic is mad. But one thing I think it does do that I think hurts the early game combat is when you unlock skill points, you can either spend those skill points on more health or more stamina or cool new combat moves. And guess what? I haven't spent a single point on health and stamina, even though I really need them because I want the cool new combat moves, right? And so like, I think that's probably hurting a lot of people and maybe why people are finding it more difficult than maybe it needs to be. But I really like it. Like every character and every enemy and boss that I'm running into, I think visually and in certain circumstances mechanically is super interesting. Obviously it's a story that I haven't had a massive amount of exposure to, and so like I think the world is really interesting, and like the way it's delivering the story I think is interesting. And I'm just really compelled to keep going and keep playing, and enjoy it more. So
I said this during the live stream that I'm gonna replay. I'm gonna get to this game again at some point this year. I think after the conversation Fritz died out, when I can just play it. Regardless of how I end up feeling about it, I think what they've done from what I've seen, especially like that intro and all that stuff, is enough for me to be excited for what they do next. Because a lot of the missteps they have with like the combos, I feel like they should have given you just a little bit more tools in the beginning with the invisible walls and a lot of that stuff. I think a lot of that just gets improved off of making another game. Totally. Right. Because this is a very the scale for this game is pretty huge from what the team's done previously, because I think they've only done mobile games, right? Yeah. And this isn't even one of those games where it's like a mobile and a console game. This is just directly a console game. And even if you look at Lies of P last year, there are moments in Lies of P, especially like in that sand area, where that game feels a little bit unrefined in similar ways where I'm finding with Black Myth Sun Wukong earlier on, where it's just small stuff where a studio that's made games for a longer time knows how to polish it up, knows how to hide those invisible walls a little bit better, knows how to hide not loading screens, but a good studio knows how to hide a loading screen well. I think the same thing can be said with invisible walls and some of the issues the game might have in that regard.
I agree. And I think if you're going to make a difficult game, you need to fucking nail your loading times. And these loading times are just too long. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a major frustration for me with this game.
That comes with experience, though, right?
Yeah.
Sure,
and
maybe because I'm on PC, and maybe I'm optimized my shit or whatever. I don't care. But, loading times too long.
It's not good on console either. Performance issues also, like, the game has performance issues all across the board on PC and console. Yeah. Speaking about this game, go ahead.
Thank God PlayStation are beta testing it then, right?
Yeah.
Thank God.
I full on I had to reinstall the game at one point because I had a completely game breaking bug.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah. I got to chapter 2 and it wouldn't load it. It just kept chucking out a serialization error. So it just could not load into So I had to
Here's what I would say.
I had to uninstall it, install it, do an integrity check, install the missing file from that integrity check to then get it to work. And it's just, it's the whole thing. I think combat-wise, I think it looks good, and in some instances it feels good, but there are so many instances with this game where specifically the camera angles and, just felt bad for me. There was I think, without spoiling too much of the fight, the Black Bear fight, if you've got to that yet.
Yeah.
I spent more time staring at its back leg and hitting it than I did actually seeing the fight. Because I was so zoomed in and just not seeing what was happening. And I know it's a small argument, but that happened in multiple fights for me, where I'd be super just caught in the middle of a bad camera angle.
I think that comes with the territory, to be honest.
100%. I can point to 100 Souls games.
Not even Souls games. If you want to take it way back to Kingdom Hearts, when they had a fucking lock-on camera, the same thing happens in those games where the lock-on will just be weird. You'll get stuck in a weird camera angle. It's the negatives of using a lock-on system. And with a lot of these type of games, you have to learn, especially if you want it to just look good, you have to learn how to adapt when to use it. And I'm not saying that's not a fault of the game. I'm just saying that's just a negative to having a lock-on system in most games that do have it.
I mean, yeah, and again, we don't want to apples and pears and comparing and stuff, but I've never felt that from a Souls game.
What?
Yeah, but
I've never personally felt like I've always
fair.
like
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll come out like I don't feel like I'm spending 90% of that fight in somebody's legs. Like I feel there'll be points where I back out and I'll dodge and stuff like that. These fights, it's very much like hack and slash and listen for a sound cue and dodge based off that, rather than listening.
I feel like we're
watching.
playing two different games, these porn.
I
couldn't disagree with you more. I don't know.
And that's fair, but
You
yeah,
fought a dragon in Elden Ring?
yeah.
no, I skipped all the dragons in Elden Ring, by the way.
I respect that.
Apart from the sleeping dragon.
Yeah, that's fair.
About a sleeping dragon. No. To be fair, like Elden Ring
The one that's
dragons
so
are
big
like,
it can't move.
yeah, I'll just jump on I'll jump on a horse and fight on that instead. It's more cinematic and cool.
Yeah,
I don't have that option in Black Myth.
your experience is your experience. I just feel like very differently to it. Like I think it's actually like really refreshing because I think my instinct in Souls games is kind of to end up like Sword and Shield. And that's kind of where I always end up. And so it forcing me into like, hey, there ain't no fucking parry or block here. Like get good at dodging. It feels like I'm going back to like Bloodborne sort of stuff. And so I actually really enjoy that. I like it.
I'll say my biggest takeaway from this, and I think is one of my biggest negatives, is whereas with like any typical Souls game, I think one of the biggest things that make a Souls game for me is I can come up against the boss, hit a brick wall with them, but I've got the option to go somewhere else and level up and fight different bosses and try different experiences and then come back when I've got a bit stronger. I don't feel like that's a viable option for this. I feel like once I hit that brick wall, I've hit that brick wall and I'm stuck there.
Welcome to Souls games. That's like Elden Ring is the only exception to that, really.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What other games? What other games?
Sekiro would
it.
100% let you do that.
Demon Souls, you could do it. I remember playing
could-
that and you were fine. You could go back and do things.
Well,
There were
Demon Souls
other
like
world ports.
required you to move between worlds and stuff.
But even if you go back to the first Dark Souls, even like the fact that you can just like rerun areas a lot more easier, I felt like there was more, you got more from finding spots to farm as opposed to like.
Oh yeah,
Black Myth
that's
Wukong. Yeah. But my question would be, would you hold that against if you played Devil May Cry and you got to a point where you couldn't beat a boss and you couldn't go and grind against the boss?
You ain't gonna lose in Devil May Cry. That
Yeah,
game's
you don't
easy
lose
as
in,
shit.
yeah, you don't lose in Devil May Cry
of
isn't
War.
built around being a hard game.
But you said that you only have to press 3 buttons, Despawn.
Not a hard game.
I
got
no,
you there.
I
He
never
got you
said
there. He got you.
no. I never said
He
it
got you.
wasn't a hard game. I said the combat wasn't interesting.
Is it hard? Because from what I'm hearing, it's not even that hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh, okay.
I think
Like some bosses are easy.
It's challenging.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's like.
I would say it's unbalanced. Some of it.
Yeah,
I could beat it though, right? Easy.
Yeah. If you can beat Elden Ring, you can beat it.
no, you
To be
can't.
fair, I did get stuck in Elden Ring. Is this called co-op?
It has to be an Elden Ring, so what are we talking about? There's no.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no co-op in this.
You're disrespectful.
co-op.
I'm gonna bully you into beating Elden Ring, Fix.
What's the difference if I'm there?
No, you haven't beaten Elden Ring because you. If I'm like I'm there, would you ever let me get away with that? Tell me the truth, would you?
Never,
Yeah.
never,
Okay.
Never.
I think from an enemy design standpoint, like coming up against a boss and just be like, this dude's fucking cool. This game is like top 3, maybe.
I love the exploration of like the Chinese mythos with the characters and stuff like that. I think it's very
Yeah.
dope and it's done
all
very,
in.
very well. Yeah.
I think.
And-
I think the
And
character design.
I don't mind
getting.
I don't mind getting grappled by a boss because I know whatever the fuck's about to happen, I might die, but it's gonna be badass. Like the if you get grabbed by a boss, it is insane. I love it. It like turns into like fucking Dragon Ball Z. It's fucking dope. So yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm probably gonna finish it. It's gonna be in my top 10 of the year. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Are you gonna beat like a dragon though?
No, I'm probably not even going to start it, if I'm honest with you. The bigger question is, will I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake this year?
No, you haven't
It's
beat
still
Final
go back to
Fantasy
that.
VII. Well, that's
Remake's the first one.
Yeah, I'm saying, will I beat Remake? Rebirth ain't happening. Will I beat Remake?
No, you won't. You know, there's no chance.
We'll talk about after.
okay. Decent. You played anything?
Just that. Yeah, and what a waste of money that was. Like I've hit a full-on brick wall with this game, and I'm not going back to it.
Where are you at?
And then a year later, You're like, oh my god, it's the best game ever to exist.
sure.
No, because with those, like we did this with Elden Ring, where it's like this game is pissing me off.
No, I know.
I get past the boss. It's like every moment, like it feels like an accomplishment. Every time I do it in Wukong, I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna have to do it again with a different boss. I've just got to the tiger, who is an absolute dickhead.
Optional.
Is it? Because it's right now it's blocking my only exit through that area.
Sounds like spoilers. We'll move on.
All right.
Chris, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Try and See. Sorry,
I forgot your plans. I'm sorry.
I tried yesterday to play games, and I sat down and I was just staring at my screen, and then I got a headache. I got a really bad
Of course you
headache.
did.
Yeah, that sucks.
All
Fresh,
right.
when you get your eyesight back, I've got a recommendation for you.
Yeah.
Void Souls. It's got a demo on Steam. Check it out.
Void Souls. Okay.
I've got a recommendation for you, Matt.
Oh, go on.
It's called Conscript.
Okay.
Oh,
It's,
yeah, now I've seen
This
this.
is a fun idea, recommending games to each other. I like this. Go on.
Sure. Think of it like it's like Resident Evil. It's like, but not like Resident Evil. It's weird. Just play it. Trust me.
So yeah, I've seen Conscript. I've not played it yet,
Yeah,
but I've seen
I've
it.
got
I'm
it.
not going to say anything about it. But
Yeah, I think just play it. Just play
Yeah.
it. Trust me.
Okay.
Void Soul Awakening. Is that the game you're talking about?
No. Void
Void
Souls.
Souls.
VOIDSOLS.
SOL. Oh, okay. I see it.
Matt, it's described as. Let me just read this to you.
Go on.
During the First World War, a lone French soldier must navigate twisted trenches, salvage for limited supplies, and solve complex puzzles, all whilst fighting for survival in the midst of mankind's most brutal and horrific conflict.
Are we
There's a demo.
talking
There's a demo. Play the demo
Valiant
on
Heart
Steam.
style?
No.
Like first person shooter? What are we talking?
No. Just play it.
Play it.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool,
Play the
cool,
demo.
cool.
Play the demo. Play the demo.
Anyone got any recommendations for me?
Fresh is trying really hard to look at Void Souls right now, and it's
Yeah, but
burning
he
his
can't
eye
see.
sockets
He
out.
can't see. He's blind.
That's to be fair.
I
I've
have the
looked
page
at,
open.
yeah, I've looked at Void Souls, and even with eyesight, it's hard to understand what's going on. Lots
He's
of
from
great
Play
colours.
Football Manager.
No.
All right, well, don't ask for a recommendation then.
Wow.
Make a legitimate recommend. I'm not going to play Football Manager. I know already that I don't like that. I quit spreadsheets.
Oh,
I'm not going to go play games with spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, good point. Good
I
point.
have a recommendation for you.
Go.
I have a recommendation. Lies of P. Play Lies of P.
You know what?
Yeah.
I am thinking about
There's
going
too
back
many
to it.
other. Play Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm going to play Star Wars. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You know what
Such
else?
a boring recommendation.
Here's a recommendation.
To be honest, I will say that I am going to go back to Liza P. Not anytime like this week. But
Yeah.
it is on my card.
After
to
the
go back.
DLC's announced.
Yeah. Once Matt gets his dream, yeah.
They announced that there is a DLC. Matt, a little bit of a sidebar. I apologize, boys. Matt, did you hear? Did you see that there was a hiring leak for Lies of P? They're looking for an open world designer.
Really?
What does that make you? How does that make you feel for Lies of P?
I'm so
Like-
close to the camera.
Could you back up a
Me and
little
Fresh
bit,
are on a
please?
sidebar. Leave me alone.
Oh,
Sorry, Fix, I just want to sidebar with you. Hi, Fix. Fix.
Hey, yeah. If you do a sidebar, you've got to get in close.
Hey, Fix, how you doing? You good?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. That's it. I just wanted to know you were good.
Okay, I'm good. Thanks.
All right, back it up. Cool. Back to you guys.
How does that make me feel? I guess a little trepidatious. I like Lies of P. I like
What?
the exploration in Lies of P. Yeah. If it's done well, and I have no reason to think they wouldn't do it well because they've done Lies of P so well. So, sure. Why not? Scared.
I hope it's like adding a little bit more options and not like an open world game, because it is a very like linear experience. So to add a little bit more pathways and stuff like
That's what I
that.
liked about it, by the way. From what I played of it, that's what I liked, was how linear it was. I don't think it needs to be like an Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't become an Elden Ring, because I I think thematically with like the world they're creating, it could 100% work and be really, really cool. But I don't know if I'd want it as a game experience, if that makes sense.
You can get that wrong very easily as well, is the issue.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay.
Sidebar over.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. Despawn.
Hi.
Time for Guess That Game.
Okay, guess that game. I guess you want to know the rules, right?
Please.
Okay, so Guess That Game, for those that don't know, is our game show within a podcast where one of us, will pick a game each week, and the rest of the studio audience, being these three knuckleheads, will have 90 seconds to decide what that game is through yes or no questions. Currently, what are the scores, Fix?
Crush is on 10 points. That's
Hey,
all
that's
that matters. Matt is on 4 points. You are on 6 points, and I am on 6 points.
Right.
I think doesn't matter. Next season.
Go on.
Doesn't matter what you
carry
think.
on. No. I think next season we're gonna do it that if you stump the panel, you get a point.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
And
think it's fair to do it now.
I think as well, we should play a season as like first to X amount of points.
Why?
feel-
'Cause you don't. Maybe if
I'm
you
so
turn
far
up,
off,
never win.
turn up on the podcast, and then you'll get some points. Like, what do you want us to do seasons because you're never here?
How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? How about if you let me wager all 4 of my points right now? So if I lose it, if I don't get it, I drop down to 0 points.
And if you get it, what do you get?
I get 8. I'm on 8.
No.
No.
Because
then I'm
we can
last,
talk
and I
about
don't
it
want
next
that.
week or next year. But I would also like the option for whoever's doing Guess That Game to have a specific answer that they're looking for or something that gives a bonus point as well.
Okay, we could do that now though. We'll do that for next week. I like the
Okay.
bonus points.
So sorry,
I
are you
do.
saying like Despawn's thinking of Resident Evil 4? If I say Resident Evil 6, I get a point. If you say Resident Evil 4, you get 2 points.
Or have something specific where after you guess the game and the game's given out, it's like a specific character you want or something like that, and they have to get. You just like sort of make up whoever has guessed the game that game. Think of a bonus point.
I say
any
what we
sort of
do
way.
after we know the game. Despawn then has to say it was Resident Evil 4, right? He has to then pick something from the game, right? And if you can say in one guess, you can say what it is. Bonus point.
First person to get it gets the point as well.
No, first person. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
nah.
I like it.
Yeah. All right.
I just need points, guys. You know, I'm out here. I'm out here dying.
As Fix says, turn up. Yeah.
Shut up. Maybe that.
But here's the problem: when I do show up, it's very rare. It's more often than not. Sorry, that Despawn is on my team asking the questions, and we all know that Despawn's bad at asking the questions.
Yeah, that's true. All right, come on. And to be fair, in the same breath, by the way, it is way easier with 3 people than it is with 2.
Yeah.
You get longer to process longer
Exactly.
on your question. Yeah. Fair.
And
fair.
my brain's-
Despawn, let's do this.
My brain's
Come on.
slow, so it's fine.
But also, you got to bear in mind, Crash is blind this week. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean,
I'm no help to you guys this
I say,
week.
you don't need eyes to ask questions. That's what your mouth's for.
I need
let
my
me
eyes
get
to
it.
think.
Uh,
I need my
I
eyes to
heard
think
something
to
else.
hear.
I know what you said, but I heard something else.
Did he think he said tink?
No, I thought he said I need my ass to think.
Oh.
I mean,
I really enjoyed that.
depends what you're thinking about, I guess. All right, I have a timer. It's there on my phone. I'm not going to leave it up all the time, but I'll
What
take it when we get to
order?
90 seconds. We are going to go because he's new here. I let Matt go first.
I
Then
never
Crash.
get to go.
Then Fix. You always go first. What are you talking about? Matt, Crash, Fix in that order. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
Yep.
Time starts now.
Did it launch on the Xbox Series X generation?
No.
Xbox One launch.
Yes.
Is it a third-person shooter?
No.
First person shooter.
First person.
Xbox launch title.
No.
Xbox exclusive?
No.
Multiplayer.
No.
Action adventure.
One at a time.
Yes. I'll add 5 seconds.
Female protagonist?
Yes.
Player created protagonist.
Yes.
Fantasy.
No.
Capcom?
No.
Multiple endings.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh.
EA?
No.
Is it one of the big publishers?
No. Not the one we think of, anyway.
Yep. Cool.
Oh no. Does it have multiple entries in the franchise?
No.
Ooh.
15 seconds. Well, 20.
Obsidian?
No.
Would it be considered a walking sim?
No.
Can you kill characters in it?
Yes.
Modern game?
Yes.
Like modern setting?
Yes. Time is up.
Give
Oh,
me
we're gonna
a
need a recap on that, yeah.
Yeah, give me a recap.
Crash makes notes usually. Go on.
It is. I'm getting a phone call. First person, single player, action adventure game, not fantasy. Player creator. It is a modern game, and it launched on the Xbox One generation.
It was on the Xbox.
I don't know if I missed any notes.
No, that's
Yeah, I
right.
mean, it wasn't Ubisoft. No, it wasn't EA. It wasn't somebody else. It wasn't a big publisher.
You said it wasn't EA, wasn't Obsidian.
Multiple endings.
Multiple endings. that
No
was it, yeah.
multiplayer.
No
Not a
multiplayer.
walking sim.
No.
This is hard, man. Kill people.
Kill people. I mean, I'm feeling generous. I'll let you ask one question each. You know.
Oh, Matt.
Jeez.
Character creator, first person.
Yeah, that's what's throwing
Okay, here's
me,
my
really.
question. Have I played it?
I don't think you have.
Okay.
Have I played it?
He ain't gonna know what
Yes.
you play. Oh,
I have. That's a definitive. I got no clue.
Okay, have
you
I played it?
No, I asked that question.
I think you have as well, yes.
Really?
but I haven't.
Single player. I've played it.
This is what's throwing me off. That thing is killing my brain, right? Single player, first person shooter, character creator. Those three are breaking my brain.
I'll clarify something for you. When you said it was first person shooter, I said it was first person.
It's first person. Yeah, not shooter.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. But you do kill people.
You do kill people.
I got it.
Okay.
I
so
have an
confident
answer
that-
that is ludicrous. If it's
got it.
if it's
I've got
correct
it.
and
I've got
and
it.
this has come out of your brain, Despawn, I'm gonna be mad at you.
I've
Go
got
on.
it.
All right. Fix has definitely got it, he says.
Got
So, Crash, I'm going to go with you first, and then Matt, and then Fix.
It's not this, but I can't think of anything else. Dying Light. I know it's not because it doesn't have a character creator. I can't think of anything. I'll be 100% honest.
No.
It doesn't got it.
So this is gonna
Stop
be you
goose.
guys.
Come.
No, I had to Google. So it's Zombie U, but that was the version that came out on the Wii U. So when it came to Xbox, it was just called Zombie with an
Okay.
I.
Right, yeah. And Fix?
BioShock, but I don't think it's a created character.
I'll create a character in
not a character.
BioShock.
Yeah, I
No,
never
it's
played it though, so I don't know that.
Yeah, it's definitively a specific character. Well, I would like to say that the person getting the points is me.
No, you don't get.
No,
Okay, are we not doing that? Okay,
no,
okay. We're not doing the stuff this
right
season.
now.
Okay.
Not yet. What is the
Okay.
game?
The game is Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, for
You
fuck's- I
said
have
modern
played
setting.
it.
You
I have
Also,
played it.
you fucked us over.
How?
Not an FPS.
Not a big publisher.
You said not one of the big five, which is we always label EA,
that's
Activision.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's
That's
fair.
fair. That's fair.
I vote Despawn loses all of his points, goes back down to 0 for that. That's horrendous.
I thought you stop being a bitch and just accept you're losing.
I vote that we move on
I vote
and
we move
we
on.
do blind ranking. Guys, you know what
Oh,
this
yeah,
is?
this is back.
Big Willy P comes in and gives us some categories. All you guys need to do is rank these to the best of your ability. And to get yourself an extra point, guess what his category is.
Are you earn points? Can I earn points for the previous
Can I
game in
earn
this
points?
game?
We're getting ours in we're adding a whole new game to the
Yes.
point system. This is screwed up. They're trying to take my 10 points away.
Yes, we are.
I need you to
Okay.
rally.
Steal the vote.
I
Steal the
need
vote.
you to rally.
Get the
Give
comments.
reviews, 1-star reviews until we change the segment back to the way it was.
No,
We
no,
gotta
hey,
my
hey,
Xbox and
hey.
be great again.
Hey, we don't joke about that, okay?
You don't mess with the sanctity of the points of
joking.
the review system.
You think, man, said, you think I'm joking? Okay, are you ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So we are starting at number 5. No, you get to pick it. I just say the name. My bad.
Yeah.
We're starting with
The first one.
Titanfall.
Okay, now let's read between the lines. Does Fixer, think that should be at number 5? Was that a Freudian slip? Does he believe we should put Titanfall number 5?
No, I think he was going through the list of games, and he's like number 5, and then you go to 1.
Do you,
I'm not gonna,
Fix,
he's trying to like meta game here and like get us to fuck up.
I don't know. Fix. Do you think we should go for the different list?
I would go for a different list.
Like, do you want us to just put this at number 5?
No, I think you should do what you guys think. I'm just
Okay.
saying. Me personally, I'd put this at number 1.
Well, that's ludicrous.
Like he
Titanfall
wouldn't. Look at his face. Look at that smirk.
is a liar. How can you see a smirk? Is he not just a...
Blur.
My eyesight's not
Underrated
bad.
joke. That was an underrated joke.
No, don't do that.
Oh god! All right, come on.
I was so confused for a second.
Pick a number. Pick a number. Come on, boys.
4.
4?
4.
Okay, 4.
Titanfall 4.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Titanfall 1.
Yeah.
Titanfall 1. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
Titanfall 1,
solid
number
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're talking
Next
Titanfall 2.
up, F-Zero.
Well, see, now we're in a bit of trouble here, Big Willie P, because you've given us Titanfall 1, not Titanfall the franchise, and then you've given us F-Zero franchise. Is that what's happening here?
Yes.
What is that? What is F-Zero?
To be fair,
F-Zero
he doesn't specify not the franchise, just so you're aware.
Oh, he does the
F-Zero...
Oh, wait.
It was like Wipeout before Wipeout.
Yeah, it's the Nintendo
Got it.
Wipeout.
Can we, knowing that he doesn't specify it's the game, can we restructure where Titanfall was?
Sure, I'll let you.
Oh. So now we're doing
If it's
Titanfall as a
the-
franchise.
Yeah, with Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2.
Well, to be fair, he usually specifies numbers. We've had numbers before. So to me,
Okay,
this is
that's fair.
Titanfall 1.
Okay.
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 I say leave it
If
at
it's,
4.
okay, we'll leave it at 4.
And then F-Zero probably
5.
has
I don't
to
know
go
what
at
it is.
3. I think it has to go at 3.
I'm feeling 3.
I mean, I don't know. Look, if I'm honest, it's 5. I
Get
just
out
don't
of
want
here
the people
with your
putting
face.
me in the comments.
Screw the people in the comments. Screw them.
No,
Hey,
people in the
comments.
comments. We don't even get comments.
Comments, I love you. Comment more. Go YouTube.
Okay.
All right, then let's go 5. I'm
Guys,
happy
we'll
to put it
push it.
5. Let's put it 5.
5.
Go on
Okay.
5.
Okay, would anyone like to guess the category yet?
No,
You
God.
only get one guess. You only get one guess.
Oh, really? Okay, keep going then.
Okay, cool. Next up, SOCOM.
Oh, I loved SOCOM on the PSP. I adored that game. But it's probably 3, which terrifies me about what we're left with.
I'm getting a feeling I know what the
I
category
could go
is.
to-
Argument.
I could go
think you
2.
make an argument for 2, but do I feel comfortable at a 2, you know?
I could go 2 because, like,
Despawn, what are you
kind of-
feeling?
I'm not personally familiar with the SOCOM series, so I don't really want to comment on that one. So I'll leave it to you two on this one.
I think, you know, like, it's certainly not around anymore, but it did definitely do something for online gaming and you know, chat in games and stuff like that. It was there in the early days, and so I think it deserves a 2.
First game that I bought a PS2 adapter for, by the way.
Adapter for what? For internet?
To play online. I didn't have
Yeah.
internet.
Cool. They
you
scammed
had
you
the
there, mate.
adapter.
They scammed you there.
That's amazing.
I mean, you couldn't Google it to find out if that was the right move or
True.
not.
That's true. You say 2?
I think 2. I'd rather be left with 3 and 1, you know, than 1
Okay,
and 2.
2.
So just so we have F-Zero at 5, Titanfall at 4, SOCOM
SOCOM at 2.
at 2. Okay. Next up, Jack and Daxter.
3.
I mean,
Start
yeah, I
with
don't feel
Yeah,
terrible
Jack
about
and
it.
Daxter's 3.
Other than leaving us with an own goal, you know, open goal here for Big Willie P to come in with a fucking Transformers bullshit
I'm
or
cool with
something.
that. There's no way I'm putting Jack and Daxter at number 1.
No, I
I'll be
agree.
honest.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's go 3.
Titanfall, F-Zero at 5, Titanfall 4, SOCOM Jack and Daxter at 3, SOCOM at 2.
Correct.
And your last one would be, any guesses?
No. Of
Banjo
all the
Kazooie.
games ever. Oh, right.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, yeah, that does kind of lean into what I think
Number
it is.
1.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
So, number 1, Banjo-Kazooie. Number 2, SOCOM. Number 3, Jak and Daxter. Number 4, Titanfall. And number 5, F-Zero. I think Titanfall is criminally underrated on your list, boys.
Yeah,
Well, I don't disagree.
Yeah. Looking at this,
No,
it's
right.
100%.
Yeah.
I did try and tell you it should be number 1, but you didn't listen.
Yeah.
So,
A Titanfall 1, I don't.
Titanfall 1 was goated.
Yeah, but I
2
put
was
SOCOM
where it's
over
at.
Titanfall 1.
No, Titanfall 1 is goated. Titanfall 2 single player is goated. Titanfall 2 single player multiplayer was not goated like Titanfall 1's was. And that's a fact, Jack.
I'd agree.
That's a fact.
I prefer the Titanfall 1 multiplayer.
Remember when we got Xbox exclusives like Titanfall?
Good times.
I don't remember how great that was for Titanfall.
Yeah, good point.
I've got a guess for the category.
So have I.
We'll start with you, Matt, because this one seems a bit all on himself. So, category is
I'm going to say it's franchises or, games that need to make a comeback that should still be around that aren't.
okay.
If
Right.
that's the category, I just want to say, why is Banjo-Kazooie even on this list? Like, what
Wow.
are you?
Crash.
I forfeit. I don't got a guess for categories.
Okay, fine. Despawn.
Yeah, I was going to say similar to Matt. I think it's games that need
Give
a
me.
sequel.
I need words in. Give me
Yeah.
some word in here, because.
Games that need a sequel.
Okay. Matt, and what was yours again? Say again.
Franchises that need to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Okay, the category
I'm replacing. Say what? I replace
Go on,
sequel
go
with
on.
reboot.
Oh, that changes absolutely nothing.
Okay.
The
I thought
category
the
was
category was something completely different.
Best. Best dormant franchises. So unfortunately, none of you got the word in correctly, so I'm not going to give
Yeah.
either of you a point. You know?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You were close, but you weren't close enough for it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got questions again, but like, how long? Where are we at on time, Despawn? We're not even a timer in front of me.
We're an hour and a half.
Nah, yeah. Questions next week. I'm sorry. Matt's got a wife. I've got a wife. We got things to do.
I've got a wife.
Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here.
Nick has a fiance, by the way.
Yeah, I'll go say, yeah. That's not wife.
Oh, should I
Wait,
call her right now?
Did you get married out in Texas and didn't tell us or some shit?
Yeah,
Hell no.
you guys
Hell
had a shotgun wedding out there.
Hell no, I didn't. All right, let's plug, get ourselves out of here. Matt, what you got to plug? You got to be doing some stuff.
Me? What am I doing? What am I doing that I can talk about? That's not it. Look, I tell you what, if you want a bit of a behind the scenes look at Gamescom, head over to the FGS YouTube channel. We did 2 days of live coverage from the show floor, going behind the scenes with devs, chatting to them about their games. Featured games like Space Marines and Starship Troopers. We chatted to the lead actor from the original movie in the 90s. We chatted to the developers behind Mouse, that black and white Steamboat Willie looking FPS that keeps blowing up on TikTok. Loads of cool stuff. Go check it out. Despawn edited a whole bunch of it. And if you go to the TikTok page or the YouTube Shorts page, you will see Despawn talking about Stalker 2 on the FGS YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah, really proud of the content we were able to put out from Gamescom. Would love your feedback on it.
I'll give you
feedback.
no problem, mate. I got you. I'll give you that feedback. Chris, what you got to plug?
Podcast reviews. I need my ego fed. Leave me some podcast reviews. No. Look, this is a call out to the UK people. Us Americans have been kicking your guys' ass.
Wow.
Podcast reviews.
Disrespectful, but true.
You want Americans? I'll start gloating every week if it makes you guys leave some podcast reviews. Leave some podcast reviews, please. It helps the show.
There is a way, by the way, Despawn, you post it, right? There's a way to now review. You can now download it on Android, the Apple Podcast app, and leave a review. So you have no excuses, Android users.
Yeah. Now you got to kick your granddad who uses Androids down the stairs.
Grab your granddad's Android phone, punch him in the testicle, and then
Wait. Why do you get the phone and then inflict the pain?
Yes,
because you need him
You
to
don't
know.
want him chasing
you're
you.
like, you need
takes a
him
lot.
to know. You need him to know that you mean business. This is what I want you to do. All right, listen up. I want you to grab your granddad's phone, punch him in the testicle, and then I need you to review the podcast 5 stars minimum. You can say whatever you like in that review. You know, you can be honest about your review, but just make sure it's 5 stars, all right? And then say to your granddad, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yeah, there you go. He'll understand that. He'll understand that. Deesman, anything to plug?
After that point, no, not really. I don't want to follow that. Sorry. Future, what Matt said, do that. I'm on there. It's great. I edited some of it. It was fun.
Can I get a job at Future?
Yeah, if you apply.
Sure.
So that'll work.
It is.
Haley said to me the other day that she doesn't think I'll work well with others at this point because I've been so isolated for so many years. She says that I lack, what is it?
You're not a team player?
No, she said there's a specific word. What was it? I like. She was along the lines of like I lack patience because I don't work with others. Like, you know, like incompetence. I struggle with that. Where like I'm like, you're just an idiot. And then move on, get out of the way. She said, I don't know how you would do well in an office environment. I said, interesting. So I'm gonna get a job in an office just to prove her wrong.
Yeah, spite. That's how you want to fuel your career dreams. Spite.
That's been my career so far, Matt. So far.
I'm going to say, Matt, you joke, but the reason I'm here today is because of spite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My big thing I will say, Patreon. Patreon.com/MCFixer. Like I said, we are losing Aaron God as our Patreon producer. That is going to leave a large hole in what we do. I would appreciate it if you're someone who's listened to the podcast over a long period of time and been like, hey, I really like this podcast. I don't want to see it disappear. Patreon.com/MCFixer. Consider supporting the $5 tier, $10 tier, whatever you decide. It goes a long way. That's a Starbucks coffee. You know, it's once a month. It helps a lot more than you probably think. We have got a lot of good content coming due to obviously all the donation goals that we hit. If those shows do well, you will see some more trial shows happen and they will be coming out first over on Patreon. So please do consider becoming a Patreon supporter. It would help a great deal. Until next time, boys, it's been a pleasure as always. I will love you, leave you, and see you later. Good boy.